I was an avid biker, marathon runner, and I was a vegan on top of this. So, but nevertheless, as you well know, heart disease is an invisible thing you don't know. I fortunately had a good friend who was a cardiovascular surgeon who would always kind of tell us as friends that some of the youngest and relatively fit people that die on my operating table die because they don't understand the symptoms, they don't understand what to do. And then he led on later with the concept of, if you ever feel anything, and he used the term weird, is just call 911 immediately. But then he added something that, in effect, without being dramatic, kind of saved my life. Because he said, and when you reach 911, he said, immediately tell them where you are, which I sounded like, duh, right? But he added, because you may not make it past the phone call. Fast forward 2 years, I just went for a run. I'm in my high-rise apartment, temporary rental apartment. I've just started work at United. I'm 37 days into the job. Got a ton of stuff going on. And my phone buzzes across the room. And as I go to get it, my legs sort of give out. And I hadn't run that hard. And as I took another step, my legs actually gave out, and I was on my knees. I felt clammy. And his words in that conversation came rushing back to me. And I crawled to my landline, and I immediately called out and told them where they were. And then I crawled to my front door, which was locked, thinking, it's like, how are they going to get in? So I had enough ability to do that. And so that's what happened. I was put on ECMO, heart-lung machine, and on a medically induced coma. So 7 days I spent doing that. And then when I woke up, the recovery process began. And then the diagnosis process that my heart had, as my doctor said, your heart has received major insults. So I'd blown up my heart. And then eventually the conversation about a transplant began.